Afro Fish OG.
Short delay here, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. Something seems like it got a little messed up in the intro. Yeah, I'll shut the door. I swear. Alrighty, but I swear it's always something. Anyways, guys, welcome to another edition of Afro in the Know. This is episode 8 with all around gaming, or games and gamer. Bro, you got like 2 different accounts. I'm like, I don't know which one to use this to.
All around is my personal one. More of me. The games and gamers is it's supposed to be a joint one. My buddy doesn't do anything, but this is specifically me.
That's fair. I have one like that too, where it's my buddy. I had 2 other friends of mine were like, "Oh, we're gonna do this or whatever," and it was just like the biggest waste of time. We're here today to talk about a game that is. I don't like saying it's like, oh my god, it's game of the year, because I don't like saying that, and 2, you never know. I mean, other games come out and they're really good, but this game, I would say, in my opinion, not only is just a fantastic game on its own mind, but is reset when it comes to what I expect from turn-based combat now.
Very fair.
I 100% agree. And obviously, for guys, if you don't know, it's Expedition 33. Claire Obscure Expedition 33, to be more exact. Fantastic game. Man, it's hard to even, I don't want to say it's hard to talk about. But it's just overall a fantastic experience.
It absolutely was. It blew me away. It was one of those ones I was hyped up for. And then whenever I finally got into it, that first hour, whenever you made it off of Lumiere, like that whole bit just solidified how much of a great game it was going to be all the way through. Like it was, and it just got worse and worse as time went on. And even some points, I was almost shed a tear. Like the end of Act 1, I almost shed a tear. Act 2, I almost shed a tear.
And just so you know, guys, I want to let everybody know too, this is spoiler heavy. So if you have not played the game, or like, oh, I want to go play it, but I haven't had time, please do not watch this podcast at this time. Go watch it. Spoil it for yourself, then get mad at me later, but at least I know that you were here.
Yeah, bitch at us because you decided to stay and listen to spoilers. And then oh my God, spoilers.
You said spoilers, but I still watched it anyways.
People, it's you can never please people, so that's why I stopped trying. If they watch, I don't care. No, I care for you. Exactly. I do care for you.
Oh, I appreciate it. So I'm just letting out spoiler heavy for everyone. Like, I'm just gonna let you guys know right now. See, on Twitch, spoiler heavy. On YouTube, spoiler heavy. I already gave you 2. That means, guess what, guys? No bitching. Okay. Someone's gonna bitch. So it's gonna happen at some point. But I want to start off from like, I don't know. Were you excited for this game? Like when it originally?
100%. Whenever I saw the first trailer for it, I think it was Game of the Year. It was the first time I saw it last year. I think it was the first trailer I saw for it, and the whole concept started catching my attention. And the more just little bits here and there, I was like, "Ooh, this is so neat." Then it got closer. I was like, "Oh my God, this is so cool!" And then I played it. It's like, "Wow, I've lost everything. Let's see what's going on." And then I no-life the hell out of it for like 3 days.
Well, no, that's totally fair. And knowing myself, like I would have been gamaged out. I'm 33.
Yeah, so, I got a couple more years. I'm only 25.
Yeah, I would have been gamaged right out. I've been like, oh no, damn, not again. But I feel like when I first, like, I was excited for it, but like it was so vague when they first like kind of unveiled it. You're like, okay, I know this sounds interesting, but I need more. And I think they did a really good job at just kind of keeping everything as much under wraps as possible. Like they showed, I was impressed with how many they got for big names. For like, you had people like Charlie Cox, for those who don't know, plays Matt Murdock, Daredevil. You had people like Ben Starr, who played Clive in Final Fantasy 16.
That surprised the hell out of me, actually. Whenever I'm sitting there listening, I was like, wait a minute. Hold the hell on. Who is this? Oh my God.
That guy has the most I said this in my video of it. This guy has the most aggressive whisper. Like
you know what? I can feel this. Hey.
Like it's just like he just walks up and like, I just want to let you know you had a really fantastic day today. Like, yeah, cool, thanks. I appreciate that, boss. Like,
it's like a gentle compliment, like the most terrifying. You look nice in that sweater. Should I?
Oh yeah, it's
flattered or terrified.
It reminds me of like someone like a Jason Statham. Like you just walk into a room and be like, I have a cup of coffee, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's here you go. It's free. I don't care. It's free. Yeah, like, I don't think you're strapped, but I think you're strapped. Like
I can agree with that. He has that just very much like the gruff and just like always piercing. He's like, yeah, well, this is me.
Jennifer English to me really stole it, and that's the voice of Mael.
Okay,
like she's been on a fucking knockout. Like I mean, Baldur's Gate, Shadowheart, and Baldur's Gate, and then you go and play something like this, where again you were amazing in this. I think she did a fantastic job.
I think the whole cast honestly did a really like spectacular job in the voice acting department. Straight up, Gustav, Lumiere, Mael, Lune, CL, all of them did really well in their thing.
Did.
I think Minoko probably has my favorite voice acting, like out of all of it. I just like his.
Oh my god, dude! Oh my god, the Gestals are so fucking funny.
They absolutely are. They're like so stupid. They're so idiotic, and next thing you know, it's like,
but
hello.
they're like innocently stupid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, I know they actually don't mean anything bad by stuff. Like, I was gonna do the one mission, where you have to go beat the whatever enemy with like one hit.
Oh yeah,
with one hit, and I was like, if you say no, he's like, wow, you're the most boring person ever. And I was like,
thanks. My self-esteem.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I don't. Damn. That's a. Am I crying? Like
they were definitely a fun part, but I think come the end of it, they were my favorites. Minoko specifically out of the Gestrels, and Eskie too was just an absolute delight.
Eskie was so funny too, and I'm like, he's just awesome, dude. When they hit him, it just starts shooting out wine.
Yeah, that was almost gross.
Yeah, I was like, that's oddly gross, but yet very convenient, like and resourceful at the same time. Like. I was like, I need an Eskie. Like I need, like everyone needs one.
Just a big giant puffball that flies around, going swim, have some wine,
swimmy, or was it floaty? And
he all sorts of things. He said, "Time for swim." It's the main one I remember.
Oh yeah, no, I just awesome. But I want to say that like they all did a fantastic job. Like I said before, guys, this is very spoiler heavy. So
the last chance.
But I say too that like even people like Renor, the character of Renor, it was his voice actors. The voice actor knocked it out of the park.
Oh, 100%.
And like you just heard a dude that not only when he showed up, I'm not gonna lie, they got on an island and he just showed up, and I was like, oh no, like. Oh, this is bad. Like, and just starts wrecking everything. And I'm like, I'm going to have to fight him.
Yeah, and then you don't, which is the most terrifying thing ever. I was playing this right before we hopped on, and I just made it to that point of his initial entrance. And the whole now that I know more about it, it's very terrifying to see that he's probably waited there for every single person, probably every single time, most of the time. But his entrance of the click, just a slow click, and you finally see an old man, something that shouldn't exist. It was just a unique thing that was like, holy shit, what the fuck's going on? You're not supposed to be here. Are you something are you not human? What are you? Next to know, not a word. Everybody's dead.
Oh yeah, and the fact that whenever he shows up, they just the whole the music cuts out. And you just, like you mentioned, the hit, the clicking of the cane hitting the ground, and you're just like, even when with Gustav, like when Gustav all of a sudden like they're talking and stuff, and they hit the cane hit the ground, and I'm like, oh no, bro, I just beat a boss. I just beat the boss. You can't do this to me right now. Like you can't do this.
I
Oh,
was terrified. We're talking about the end of Act 1 with that, right?
yeah.
That I knew what was coming. The moment I heard the click and his back was turned, it was immediate as, oh shit, I'm about to
Mhm.
lose Gustav. No,
Oh, yeah.
I
Exactly.
I didn't
Um,
realize that I wasted resources healing myself, trying to be like, I'm gonna fucking beat this dude, but do everything I can. I'm a win. I didn't.
Gustav, yeah, Gustav, you not him, Gustav. Like, and I think too, like the thing that got me early on, was the fact of like some of the it was like when you first start to play the game and how like vibrant and gorgeous it is in Lumiere and
Hmm.
um and I'm like, dude, this is so cool. Like this is just really pretty. The one thing I know I've seen other people talk about it, uh when Mael's like, come on, let's get going, and then she just Superman runs like
Yeah, she's just got to keep ahead of you at all times, and that was just
oh yeah.
entertaining.
No,
And
and
it
I
was
like that. I like it more than like a character that kind of slowly jogs with you. But she was just like, like oh, damn, okay. Like, holy shit, lady. Like, it's like, calm down. I'm like,
well,
that's
she's the most broken character. She might as well have superhuman speed.
Ryan. That's how I knew she was the main character. Like,
She
but
she really
uh,
was.
yeah. And I feel like with even with like when characters like Sophie and stuff like that, when I liked Sophie, and I was like, I liked her for all 30 seconds, and just it's just like, oh, like the way that they would when they got gamaged,
That
they
was
would
heartbreaking.
it
All of it.
was because it was just like watching everyone like
Just
fading away and
disappear.
like someone's kid, seeing kids like watching their parents just disappear.
It was like it was a genuinely heartbreaking experience to see all that because you can actually you can talk to quite a few of the people there. Lumiere has a lot of secrets. I don't know if you know that. I did went through and saw some of them, but it was very heartbreaking to see all that the characters you kind of slowly built up with, all these ones you know around, these lives that are there. Then it's just in an instant they're gone. Like that
Oh,
was such a
exactly.
good intro to a game, and it was just so I was invested at the bit of that. I was like, I'm gonna kill this paintress bitch
Oh
after
yeah.
this.
And then she was like, I like how she like just stands up and everyone just like they can't. It's a. I think I mentioned it was a sense in my first impressions. I mentioned it was like a sense of almost like a cosmic horror. They
Mhm.
have no clue what this paintress is, why they're doing it, or anything. But she just gets up, wipes one, and then goes right back into like the old emo pose from like the early 2000s, where she just sits there in the
I
crumpled.
I had thought until I made it to that point that she was crying the whole time. Like whenever you
That's what
get
I
closer
thought
to,
too.
that's what it looks like. She's just sitting there bawling like this, the head just slightly moving and stuff like that. Even whenever you go into her boss fight, that's what it felt like. Like that, like the visage we saw was more or less crying. So I was like, oh, maybe she's not a
Mm.
villain. Maybe she's not a villain. Maybe there's an actual reason for it. I don't know
I think
why.
what was intense to me was also it was how big the paintress is.
Yeah.
Like when you get close up to it and you realize that like you're not even like you can't even see like past like the bottom of her foot.
No, you are not even the size of her toe.
And I'm like, I have to take this out.
Ugh.
Like, holy shit. And then that's what led me to I was like, all right, I fought God once before. Like, and when the old man when Renor ends up coming out for the first time, I figured that he was the one that was forcing the painters to do this.
Mhm.
I mean, well, he's not really, but it's just I figured that he was the one that was forcing her, and I was like, oh, okay, it all makes sense now, you know. And then it was like it was crazy, like that once they get on board and Gustav starts doing his own thing and Luna starts tagging on. I'm like, okay, yeah, we starting to we building the gang. I'm kind of getting excited now. Because and then by the time when I was like, all right, I got to that first boss, and it was the big like I don't know what they're called. Um, it was it was like the water or whatever. Like it was like
The ice thing that does the ice with
yeah, it
that
looks like
weird
almost like some sort of wizard almost.
that like a V skate or whatever it is.
Yeah, and it starts like I'm like, oh damn, okay, shit, that thing's huge. Well, I fought God once before.
I fought, but you're big. I fought
like
bigger.
I fought bigger. But yeah, it's like when you beat it, and I was like, okay, cool. Like I felt like that actual test. Lune is cracked Lune is. I like Lune. Like she
I
was out of all the characters, I felt the least connected to her.
Yeah, and it got worse. She was my least favorite character just because there was lack of character for her, in my opinion. But
I
then
would agree with you.
I started to hate her. I started to hate her at the and this is me being petty. So during Gustav's funeral, whenever they're making it past the war-torn battlefield, or the forgotten battlefield, whatever it's called, and you
Mhm.
like put his hand on the leaf and all that stuff, and you like to essentially bury him. That's where I started to hate her because earlier in the thing, she was like, "We can't bury him. We can't waste any time. We can't bury him." And next thing you know, you go to bury him, and she's like, "Yeah, this is it's my whole thing." And she looks like, "Yeah, this is what I wanted to do. That looks perfect. This is a good idea." And I'm like, "You backstabbing bitch! You didn't want to save him 20 minutes ago. You literally were like, nah, leave him alone."
I think that got me. You know what actually got me is it was in the like I did the I think some of the relationship things in there, and the thing that got me was when I went to go talk to Seal or Shield. Oh my god, I
CL?
can't think of her name. Seal, yeah, and you smashed. Like
I know.
you smashed, and then she talks about her husband, and I'm just
Good taste.
like I was like, oh damn. She's like, I just miss my husband. I'm like, I'm sorry, you what? Like,
You
did you
remind me
just?
of him so much.
Yeah, I was just like, did you just? Oh,
I
oh
felt bad
no.
for her. You went far enough in to get like all of her gradients and stuff to learn about her story, didn't you?
I did not get all of them yet. I'm trying. I'm still going through them.
You start to feel really bad for her in the end. Like I really did. Like her whole thing. Like
I mean,
says why she has her aversion to water, and I'll let you experience that. I'm not going to
okay.
ruin. I'm not going to ruin
Well,
everything for
I know
everyone.
they've mentioned she mentions that he does get into an accident,
Mhm.
and so he does get into an accident, and there was I think it was on a boat, and there was nothing that she could do about it, and
That
so
that's not her aversion to the water. That's not why she doesn't like it.
okay. But like I felt bad. Like I did like that's about as far as I got for hers. But overall, I did like her. She's a fucking heavy hitter too. Um, but I think I built. That was one thing I wanted to also touch on too. But I'll get back to it. But yeah, I feel like when it came to like a lot of the characters, I just had a lot of fun watching and just listening to them.
Mhm.
They all were fun. They all caught my attention except for Lune. But like like
Fuck her.
like
We don't
Lune
want her.
physically caught my attention, but it was just about I was just like,
Was
oh,
it? Was it?
she's
Be honest. Was it the feet?
oh. But like I feel like when it came to all the characters though, honestly I think the most fun was choosing Monaco's. Like choosing all of it because I'm like, yeah, I'll just challenge you to a fight. Okay.
I think the worst part on that, which I fully understand, was whenever you fight Monoko, is the he's like infinitely stronger than he is whenever you have him on team. And I hate whenever it is. It's like, oh, he's with his million HP. When he's on your team, he's like, he has like maybe 800 HP. Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes
Oh no,
perfect sense.
exactly. Like you'd expect him to be so much. Like I'm like, oh okay, oh okay. I guess you're just a big defense. I built him like highly defensive.
I'll be honest. Outside of the one time I had to use him in Old Lumiere, I never used him. Not because he wasn't a bad character. Same for CL. I figured out early on the character scaling, the level scaling does not worked probably right for the area. So whenever I got like Mael, she was level 5. Everybody else, Lune and Gustav were level 13. Whenever I got CL, they were like in their like late 20s. She was level 15. Like they were always like a lot higher. And that's why I never used them. It's like, it's just so fucking weak. You're like 10 levels lower than everybody.
That's fair. I think like what for me, I used like for me the big one. I had a couple of different styles, right? So like my first one was the I just call it fire healing. It's
Mhm.
burn. You know what I mean? It's healing burn. Everything was based off burn because burn can be absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, 100%.
And Mael was solely heavy on two things: burn and defenseless. And that's what I would always trigger on: burn, defense, burn, defense, burn, defense. And then Lune, I had three of them. So or out of my six of them, I guess. the 3 on the left were either one was a burn attack that did medium damage to all my and just inflicted burn. That's all I cared about. The other one was Terra Quake, so I could prepare an earthquake and then it would hit multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And then it also does high break damage. And then my other one was it hits a single target, but it does good break damage. And that was it. The rest on the left were 3 things: heal one person healing, which because of how I built it, I could actually use the little little diamond thing, so I could use the diamond things as cost.
Strains.
Yeah, strains. So I could use the strains as cost. But what was crazy is because I used the strains as cost, I actually got the strains back.
See, I made mine was a lot more offensive, like a hell of a lot more offensive when it came down to it. Like yours Lune with the shards or whatever the hell they are, whatever they're called, strains. I think is what
they're strains.
Was I had her with like burn, like medium burn thing. I then had her with I can't remember the name of it, but it hits with all 4 elements, and every crit adds an extra shard or whatever the hell the strain. Then I had heal. Then I had thunderfall. I had mayhem, which is basically uses all of them if you have a full thing. Yep. And then I had like the fire thing that does fire damage every single turn, like additional fire damage as long as she doesn't take her turn. She just hits for fire. I had her as my magicer. I had her as my tank with the most HP. I had Mael built with the most defense because I made it to the Dark Shores a lot earlier than I needed to. That's where you first land. I don't know all the areas you have been. That's where you fight the hand things, where you first meet Renoir and all that. That's the Dark Shore.
Oh, yep.
I found a Picto there probably 30 hours before I needed to. That gave me 1,300 defense. And I rocked that for the rest of the game. And I was really funny because I couldn't kill the things on there because you fight the hands. They're called Noirs. And I couldn't fight them. I outrun them for like 5-6 minutes until I grab the Picto, and then I'm off to the next bundle of them because there's a group of 2, group of 2, group of 3, and all of them are surrounding things. It was terrifying because at that point I was like maybe level 30. And if you were not ready, they'll have like 14 different attacks before you get one turn. It's ridiculous.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Where is that at?
The Dark Shore. It's down more towards Lumiere, like end game and stuff like that. It's like whenever you sail straight off, you have it. It's like more or less between the Indigo Tree area and Lumiere. It has it's early game. It's late game, but technically early game because that's where you first land. It's a great grinding spot because you can get a couple million. What is it? It's like maybe if you go hitless, you can get 1.6 million between the groups of 2. By themselves, then you get like maybe around 1 million XP if you go hitless on the group of 3. So you can get about nearly 3 million experience if you go all 3 fights with the them. That's how late game it actually is.
Yeah, I don't like hand bosses. I don't like hand monsters. I don't.
What, Elden Ring flashbacks?
Yeah, Elden Ring flashbacks. Like Elden Ring flashbacks, Ocarina of Time flashbacks. As the Wall Masters. Yeah, I don't. If it comes down to hand monsters, I just don't do well. Like, but I do say that when it comes down to the monster design, especially, I will say a lot of them were what the fuck. It's like there's like when you got to the lamp, right? The lamp master.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay. Like all the lights are going on, and then all of a sudden it just starts floating. I'm like, oh,
that was stinking cool. But that's also at the point. I thought at that point everything was going to become more Eldritch horror based because that thing was nearing that precipice. So I thought, oh, everything's about to start mute. Have you played Sea of Stars?
Yep.
Think of it like the Dwellers. I thought whenever you start dealing with the Dwellers, things are going to start getting grosser and grosser. That's what I was, fully expecting to start happening with all the monsters. I go to this area and it's like, bleh, get my monster. And it just gradually gets grosser and grosser. I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't, but at the exact same time, I feel like it fits fine. Not everything needs to be this gross, grotesque, probably smell it from 50 foot away monster.
Right. And once you started getting into like when the lamps are floating above it, and I'm like, okay, I'll just go pew 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 pew, and and I'm like, okay, cool, because damn, it wasn't a super tough fight, but it definitely was a fight that was like, oh, okay, like I see what you're doing. But I loved that. I loved how every enemy, especially every boss, had some sort of gimmick that was needed in order, and it felt so cool. It felt so cool that once you figured it out, like your brain hits the I got this. And once it hits, I got this. You're just sitting there like, you are not touching me.
Yeah.
like
I
what?
I had some of those moments. I think
And
the
I'll say
Adams.
this too, and I'm sure you'll agree with me on this. Uh, I want every game that I play where I have to fight the merchant to go get
That
something.
was actually a really fun thing to do. An
There's,
infinite XP grind for one, but two, the ability is like, here's this thing. It's maybe a little better, maybe not so much. You got to beat me to figure out. Who knows?
and you're just like, oh, fight the merchant. I'm like, oh, I mean, okay, yeah, I'll go fight. Oh, you want a 1v1 me? And it's like, let's go. Like, all right, bring it.
That was fun. I will agree to that.
I mean, they're not tough, but I would say the mimes freaked me out though.
You know what? Since you did you say did you do a lot of exploring in Lumiere on your first time through?
Not in Lumiere. I did find the mime, but I didn't do a whole lot of exploring.
Okay.
I'm going to do that when I do into the new game.
That's what I wanted to see if you found the mime, because I didn't know there was a mime until my second playthrough. I saw the mime. And
he straight up spanked me, and I was like, "Oh, I don't like you." And then I was like, "Oh, there's more."
I think the first time I ran into it was on the way to the Jestro Village. It was my first mime I ran into. I was like, Jesus Christ, what the it's sitting there like this. Next thing it just goes running towards it. Like, Jesus Christ, I'm not afraid of mimes. That'd be terrified.
And they have, and it's that whole little like thing where they can like, oh, they just hit the wall, so like it like knocks up it knocks up a bunch of health or not health, but like defense. And I'm like, bro, I can Verso. I have Verso doing, for me at the time period was doing like, can do like 15,000+ damage, and I'm doing like 600.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro, this is like, he literally nerfs like 90% of your damage. So it's just like, and it's not a hard fight. It's really not. The one that scared me though, I will say, is the one in Serene. The where it's like around the corner, and I was like, oh, what's around this corner? And it's like, and I'm like, oh,
like some of those things were genuinely terrifying. I had one, I think it was in the Stone Cliffs, and whenever the like swordsmen's, I think that's where it was. The swordsman's out there in Old Lumiere. I can't remember specifically where. I didn't realize how far those fuckers would chase you once they catch wind of you.
Okay, yeah, no,
I ran, and any enemy. I ran. I was like, oh, maybe I was on the way to the painters. I'm running a long way. I was like, man, I'm entirely
in Old Lumiere.
And I was like, yeah. And I run away from a lot of them. I was like, oh, man, I'm entirely safe. And next thing you know, I go to do something, and I hear behind me, tink, tink, what the hell? And next thing you know, I'm getting attacked. I was legitimately, Jesus.
I think the whole time when I'm running around them, and that's what I did a lot when I went back to Lumiere, was I was like, I don't want to keep fighting them, so I was like, I'm just gonna run around these guys, and all I heard was that little like do 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 do. So I'm like, just like heavy chase after me, like, and so I was like, if this was from a top down view, this would be really funny.
It absolutely would.
But yeah, I think with some of them, I remember I saw an Old Lumiere, and I see the swordswoman walking, and I'm like, hear me out. But like, I think some of the enemies that really got to me, it was anyone that was like, oh, I'm going to attack you. It's like, oh, come on, bro. And it was like, all right, hit me one. And then it was like, okay, again, I blocked yours. Like, I think what got me was anytime that like they did some crazy shit. So like Renor, right? During Renor's boss fight, not every time, but the first and second time, when he decides to use the move to vanish you.
Dude, that scared the hell out of me.
And I was like, what? Where's my character? Like, he's coming back, right? Like Luna's coming back. Luna's not coming back.
That was a tough fight, because at that point I went in, I got a big head because I was higher level than I should have been. I was like maybe level almost 60 at that point. Maybe my
Jesus Christ, man.
Maybe let's say 50. Let's say 50. Let's lower it a bit. I did a lot of grinding at Siren's place.
I just hit 50.
I'm 83.
So you should have no problem with New Game Plus.
Enemies are tougher, a lot tougher.
Like, is it they swing a lot faster kind of thing?
I just made it to the open world. I can tell you right now, I just made it to the Dark Shore. Everything's gone on. Gustav literally just woke up right whenever I was turning us off to start this. So I don't know basic enemies, but I do know like that training fight against Mael whenever you're on the bridge. She is doing enough damage to kill me in 3 hits, and he was sitting about like over 4,000 HP.
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna have to go train. I'm gonna have to go train a lot.
That's what I was telling you. If you want to go back, Siren's area is a good low level grind because you can get about 2 million experience per hour without getting hit. Then once you get to about level maybe 60-ish, and you have enough damage to output, you can go to the Dark Shores. You can then start grinding from there. I was gonna go to the full. I was gonna fully reach level 99, but then I was like, man, I want to beat this game. I'm strong enough. Fuck it.
That's what that was so funny that you're like, oh, you can upgrade your Pictos. You
Dude,
can what? Like, I have no clue. So I've been going through hitting for like, man, I'm hitting for 4K, man. I'm really doing it. And I'm like, huh. The more you know. Like,
dude, when was it? I might have been in the Jestro Village whenever I first learned how the Pictos work and all the added stats and stuff like that. And so whenever I started doing that, it started getting really fun. And at that point, I hadn't even messed with the curator. I was like, man, I completely forgot about this dude. So whenever I had like the 200 Luminos, and I just like dispersed them between the only 3 characters I played as, and they went from doing the 800 damage to here's 50% attack all the time. Here's 50% on the first attack. Now you can strike first. Now you can slap them in the ass and tell them to go fuck themselves. You can do all these hundreds of things, and next thing you know, you're sitting there being able to one shot some of them or hit him with 10,000 damage until you get the break damage Picto.
I thought it was wild, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought it was so wild when I'm like, okay. No, I feel this. I got like as soon as you mentioned it to me, because I was literally fighting creation when you mentioned that I could do this, and I'm like, huh, I didn't realize that. All of a sudden, his health went from like do to like boom 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 boom. I was like, oh,
you want to know something because it might be disheartening for I one shot the creation.
Really? Holy shit! Yeah,
that was where I realized the damage thing on there, because that was the first time I did this build. I was at the end of the game, so it's like I'm at the end of the game. Let's see how other people building this. And I hadn't looked up a build, but I started figuring out the damage things, and I hit him for like nearly 14 million damage. And I was like, oh my God. Dear God, this is what power's like. Jesus Christ,
dude! It made me feel like so. It was so cool the way that like. And I will say this again, every boss had their gimmick felt unique, yet at the same time it was like very you could exploit it, but they all felt creative. And that's the thing, even the characters' own shtick, their own gimmicks like you play as are creative. So it gave so much depth and creativity to how you wanted to build your characters. And I absolutely, I loved how that worked. I loved how the free, even simple things like the free aiming, like it was a crazy amount of depth to it. I'm fighting the Sprong in the ocean right now, and a lot of times the only reason I get pissed because the only reason I lose to him is because I know I lose concentration, but like I'm not doing enough damage to really like to hurt him like a lot, so it still takes a bit for the fight.
Oh yeah, is you one of those ones if health bar moved, it can bleed.
Yeah, yes. Until you're just like, oh, I can get down to this far, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, time to go throw in the 8-hit combo. Like there's one enemy that just bounces.
The rock face rock.
I will not fight him. I will not, because I sat there, bro. I am not shitting. He bounced 17 times.
Yeah, no, and he gets more. He starts bouncing more the lower his HP goes, apparently.
Yes, and after a while, I was like, I'm done. I sat there and I was like, I'm not fighting this boss, not because I'm not good at it, because it's becoming just unfun. This is not fun. This is I don't mind war of attrition fights. Sprong is a good war of attrition fight. This is boring. And so eventually I was like, I just have nothing to say to you. Like, I'm going to build my character to just one-shot it and then just, fuck you.
I'm not at that point yet because I haven't gotten back there. But I'm not fighting it until I one-shot it. You know what actually is a really fun open world fight? Well, outward world fight you can go get your ass fucked in if you're not ready? You remember the purple, the snake thing you see in the flying waters?
Oh, yeah.
You can fight that thing. And
I avoid it.
Do you want to know what its gimmick does?
Sure.
It steals your AP. If you get any AP in any time whatsoever, after your first turn, if you gain AP from getting hit, it'll be like, the Susanoo or whatever steals your AP. So you have no AP throughout the fight.
Oh no.
Yeah, no,
You
it's dumb as hell.
did you see the did you get to see the underground one?
No.
So
Uh,
there's a fight where you have to take I don't remember exactly what it is. I only found it once. I'm gonna go take it on to see again and see if I can actually beat it this time. But you drop into this area and there's these walls that are coming closer to crush you. So you have to beat it within a certain time, a certain
ooh,
turn limit before it smashes.
that sounds cool. Actually, that
Yes,
tension on
because I
there.
fell into it, I was like, oh. And it was
Oh,
like the walls are closing in. I'm like, the walls are
is
closing
it
in.
the sapling thing or whatever that like really?
Maybe
Like I know he's like right after you get Versa or something like that. He's
because
essentially
I
like a
don't think he's
tutorial
all
boss.
that tough anymore. But like, he's definitely going to be one that I'm just going to go all out on and just absolutely obliterate.
Yeah, there's gonna be now that I have the new game plus thing, I'm gonna probably max out my L, get everything built into her, and be like, yeah, girl, let's go one shot everything. Let's go have some fun.
Let's go have some fun. No, and that's what I loved with
Who was your
I
favorite
loved
boss? Main
in
line,
terms of
main
mm,
story or anything. Just like your favorite boss. Like you like this is where the game is an absolute best fight.
in terms of like gameplay and all the other kind of that like the gameplay and stuff. It's the I can't think what it's that twin sworded knight when you dropped into the into like that cave where it's full of blood or whatever, and the
Oh, the
knight
duelist?
used yes the duelist. Um, in terms of like narrative and stuff, it was Visage. Like Visage's thing, because I was like, oh okay, you just gotta destroy the mask, and then you beat it and you realize that's not the that's not the
That was
Axon.
cool.
Like the Axon was the dude who went and talked to you before, and I was like, oh shit, I thought that was dope because I did think that Serene was really pretty. It was a very pretty fight.
Hmm.
But out of all of them, combine them together, it's Renor, final Renor.
I won't deny
Like
that.
final Renor, and between that, the fucking music that just
Yeah.
it sends chills down your spine. And then like when he brings in the other Axons and stuff like that, and all of a sudden, they're floating behind you. Then Eileen comes in and she goes as the paintress and just fucking smokes the Cyrene, and she just turns around like, bitch, did you just seriously? Like
Dude, that was cool. I will not lie. I think my personal favorite is the fight against the paintress herself, though. That
the
whole
paintress is
the first phase. Oh, there we go. That was weird.
happens to the best of us.
I live in the middle of nowhere. I think there's probably a storm coming. That only happens in.
Oh
But
no.
that was an epic fight. I almost died in that fight. It took careful strategic planning. Otherwise, I would have died. But it was so cool. Her literally tearing apart reality to do some of the shit she was
Dude, when
doing.
they just said, "Oh, she ripped a hole in reality," I'm like, "She what?" Like, like
That's so cool. And her gimmick, I love that she added doom to you essentially. That
yes,
was cool as hell.
and I love because you had to keep like it forced you to have to keep the pressure on,
Yeah.
and I liked that. It forced me to have to keep the pressure on, so I couldn't sit back for like skip a turn or something. Um, and I think that was the thing too, is like when the paintress to me it was when the paintress opens like the tear and then just turns and is like, "What you gonna do about it?" And I'm like, "I'm not gonna lie to you, fucking nothing." Like
That was so
but I
cool.
think to me it was when Renor steps into the painting and then like walks back out and like he's glowing and all that and he starts flying around and all
Yeah.
that, which led to that. I'm not gonna lie, dude. When he went to go fly a second time and Mael just jumps in the air and I
And
was like,
stops him. That was
yeah, and he's just like,
badass.
damn, I wasn't expecting that. Like,
And then the music goes from like the epic hard rock to the somber same version of it. It's
mhm.
just like you won at that point. It's like, oh, that's so fucking cool.
Well, and
That
that's
was
what I
so-
felt with the duelist though too, is when like you get to see, and I wish there would have been more cinematics when it came to it, but like the cinematic with the duelist, and you're watching how they're all teaming up against it, taking it
Mhm.
out. And I thought that was just awesome.
That
Like,
was. I wish they did that more frequently in there. There were a
yes.
lot of fights I could have seen absolutely, even if it was like genuine, like smaller enemies. I feel like they should have done that a little bit more. Like you go take on this chromatic abyss over here, the Abuler, the Sprong, the Snaky Man, Face Rock Man Face.
Mhm.
This thing. There was a
There
lot of
should have
missed
been
opportunity.
you're right though. There should have been more cinematics into those. I could easily, and I don't even care if the cinematic has all of the enemy, like all of the characters teaming up to whip his ass. honestly, that's why I loved playing Monaco so much. Because I love transforming into the enemies.
That was a
And I was
fun
like,
thing. I need to get more with him. I have like 4 feet for him.
I have, yeah, there's a lot too. Because it made me want to go back to go redo a bunch of. So I went back to Visage because it was funny because it was like I love how Visage was like you can either take the left, you can take the right, or you could fight me. Like it was just like, oh okay, well I guess I'm just gonna go fight you. Um, but I think that overall, I thought it was just like a wonderful experience.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
there's so much with this game and with this crew telling a story that just you could tell they absolutely loved, and the whole theme of, like I said, the whole theme of grieving, and this family's unable to grieve over the death of Verso. That's why the mom and the father are both basically in a strangle. They're just not talking to each other. Like,
Yeah.
like that's the whole thing. Mom's like, I'm not talking to you because I don't like, I don't like
I
you
don't
right
want to
now.
lose my I don't want to lose my son. That was her
Yeah,
whole
and
thing.
Dad's like, well, okay, well, I guess I guess I'll just no, fuck you too. Like,
I don't want to lose my wife. You don't want to lose your
right.
son. I did like that narrative whenever that finally got put into perspective of it, because I spent a whole lot of the game. I had a lot of theories. I want to say I called early on that the Paintress was related to Mael, but I thought it was going to be like
I thought
Mael's
the Paintress was going to be Mael.
same. That's what I was thinking. Then I was
Yeah,
like, what if she's like mother, brother, sister, something like that? What if?
I think too that another thing for it as well is when they actually bring out something about the writers.
So that's a whole new thing. So I did a little bit of deep diving. That could be a straight up new game. This one game set up a whole world of stuff. The writers
Yes.
could be their own separate game, and I want that to be.
And that's what I was like. They brought out the writers, and I was like, I'm sorry, is that sequel bait? Like, are you just sequel baiting me right now?
Hey,
What?
that'd be awesome.
No, let me finish my game first. Like, and I love the fact that, like, when you see like the bent Eiffel Tower and stuff, but then in reality it's just everything's actually just fine. And I think, like one thing with when you see Alicia, you know what I mean? When you see Alicia and you're like, oh damn, you really Verso saved you from that fire. What were you doing? Waiting? Like it's like the fact that she can't speak and stuff, which leads obviously spoilers
To the ending.
to the ending. There's like 3 endings in this fucking game. Like,
Are there 3?
No, there's not 3, but it felt like it was like, okay, I beat the Paintress. Nah, we're gonna keep on going.
Okay. I thought
we're gonna go take. Yeah, that's what it felt like. We're gonna take on Renoir. Nah, he's too powerful. We gotta dip. Okay, we've beaten Renoir. Nah, we got one more for you. And I'm like, I'm excited, but you gotta stop doing this to me, man. Like,
that whole build up to that final bit was actually really well done, because it's like, hey, you're not strong enough to take care of me, but it gives you the like free chance to go fight. It's like, you know what? See if you're strong enough. Do your best. And that was really cool. You fled, but then like, no, we got to go back immediately after. Like, that was such a good build up.
That whole bit of when she's getting the chroma from all the other expeditioners,
and the fucking the Lumiere song in the background.
Yes, and then she conjures them all. And I was just like, she shows them all, and like I'm like, this is so. They gave me chills, and then at the same time, I'm like, Avengers.
That was so cool, and I think
oh my god, I could that. Oh,
and then going like literally 2 minutes later, you're running through the battlefield, and you just see all of them just.
Oh, dude, I love that too. I love the fact of like like one of the enemy comes after you and then just gets hit by one of them, just goes flying off, and I'm like, okay. I mean, you guys are still missing a bunch, but like,
hey, they're doing their best for the fact that they died and they're fighting again.
Oh yeah, and I thought that was the fact of Verso also. I'm not gonna lie, I will say I forgot. This is the plot twist I wanted to bring into when Verso reads the letter from Alicia about Aline.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh yeah, she was the one who was basically about life. Renoir was the one that was more about like death and moving on. And as soon as he reads that, he looks up and you just hear boom. And like that whole wave just takes everyone out. And I was like, so I lost. The fuck?
That confused the hell out of me. And it was absolutely God, this game is a masterpiece. I don't say that often, but damn, this game was a masterpiece through and through.
Oh, I was 100%. I don't even like I don't like saying that either. Like this game is a masterpiece or it's not. Um and I will say the game is more about, it's kind of sounds kind of corny, but the game is more about the expedition. So like the loss of like a mini map is something that I really like too. It made me had to go and look for shit, and it forced me to go look for stuff, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah. I wish one thing I wish they did was they had I saw somebody actually comment this, which made sense, was you could either find the maps from other expeditions whenever you go find the prisms or whatever, the pictos that have their pass thing, you build a map based on that, and you can technically build an entire map based on it, or they chart the map as they go on through. I can't remember what game
cool.
it was. Like
Wind Waker. Wind Waker does that.
Yeah, something like that, where there is no map, and as you go through, it just begins to add more and more map to it because based on how you explore. Come the end of it, you can have like a weird figure 8 in the thing because that's the only places you've ever explored.
That's true. I like that one as well, and that's why I feel like when it came to I guess I got trapped from the ending to that because that was something that in my head that I just wanted to bring up because I thought that was really cool. Is like when you're going and you're finding the secrets and you're finding different little pathways and different oh, I have to beat this boss. There's one boss, the fucking what's it called, the Borgans or whatever.
Oh, the Burgeon.
Yeah, I hate those. I hate them as soon as they're just like, oh, I'm just gonna go take one of your characters, and I'm like, you bitch.
I wish you could dodge that. I truly wish
I did try to dodge it. I was like, oh, I guess you can't. I mean, sure, it's cool because it forces you to have to be like, all right, now I have to play differently. Because he's not actually really tough. Like they're really easy to beat. But it's just shitload of health.
Oh, they're always a damage test essentially to see how much damage you can do. You do enough damage, boom, they spit out the person. Which I don't get me wrong, I'm okay with taking out party members, but at the exact same time, in a game where you can dodge a parry, shit, give me the ability to dodge a parry. That don't just be like, oh yeah, nah.
Oh, exactly. And especially because like things like Renor's you could actually block, and he literally says no, like, and just takes you right out. Actually, what was a move that actually kind of terrified me a little bit? The status effect bound.
Oh, with your chains?
Yes.
Ooh, you're not gonna like the Dark Shores then if you ever go.
Because I think that because I mean, I'm fine with it because it forces you to parry, and I'm not mad at that because I've gotten I got the parry down pretty fucking well, right? It's not I'm not worried. But the first time when they're fighting the Visage, and he uses the bound thing, so I can't. And I'm like, what do you mean I can't dodge? Piccolo told me to dodge. Like, I think you can't just tell him no.
It had some good effects. The bound was a good fun thing to it. I wish
the bound was good. Inverted scared me.
Oh, I love inverted.
Inverted was awesome, but at the same time, I was like, I mean, I kind of based my whole thing around the healing, and you're trying to try to take that away from me. Like
I think I told you there's a picto called like inverted affinity, where if you're in inverted, you do 50% extra damage. I got that for every character on my thing. So I was basically, they start out in the first 3 turns, they start out inverted, but if they become inverted during the fight, they get a damage buff. So I was fine one way or I was fine the other.
That's fair. And like I loved, that's what I said before, like I loved the way that this you can build them, but I want to before we finish this one, we need to talk about, like I said, I need to bring it back to the ending of the game. Right. And because I think it led to 2 different outcomes, and like I mentioned before we started, we had the good ending and what I called the bad ending. And that is the choice between Verso and Mael. And I know like you saw them both. I mean, I just looked up as soon as I could, and I still in my head go with Verso. It just makes the most sense for me.
I will not argue that. For those out there, he went with Verso in his first playthrough. I went with Mael on my first playthrough. To me, it seems the most logical. And I'm not going to argue the Verso ending either. You want to put Verso at peace. You want to have that peace right there and closure right there. I'm not going to argue that in any way, shape, or form. That is a good ending. But at the exact same time, at least for me, because you talked about some hypocrisy in there, is Mael talked about having the 2 lives and her being able to live this life to its fullest, whereas in the real world, she's burned. She can no longer speak. She's half blind. She's not going to be able to live life to its absolute fullest. But in her mind, she's a child at this point. I know that's not entirely the case, but you look at it through her point of view. That's what she's thinking right now. And that's why I think of that ending. Despite her dying, she's going to die one way or another. Why not let her die in the way that she wants to die, in a happiness, in a world that she knows and loves, with the friends and family not hindered in any way, shape, or form? Albeit maybe terrible, but that's the way I see it. Is I would much rather die. Like, if even you think if you have a paraplegic, tell them, hey, you can walk. You just got to do this. She'll do anything in their power to get to walk. You tell Mael, you can live a full life. She'll do anything in her power to live a full life, and that's why I'm fully on her side with it.
Right, and and I agree with that. Like I said, I agree. Like I understand her side of things, but I understand Verso wanting to. Especially because the Verso in game creation Verso has all the memories of the original real life Verso, and so for him, knowing that I don't want to keep doing this, I need you, like I need to be put at rest so you guys can be happy, and he's thinking about the family. He's thinking about all of this is because of me. And I think that's what I really enjoy about Verso's ending, is that he also says that she's being a hypocrite, because if this was the case, then why did you even do this expedition? You shouldn't be here then. Because if this was, you know what I mean? Like, if this is what you wanted, you shouldn't have been here. Like, this was all to stop the Paintress. Now we're at the point where we can actually just end everything and you guys can go be happy. And I think, her, even though I understand it, and I brought this up too, is that in her ending, it feels like Verso knows what's going on.
Oh no, 100%. You can tell by looking at him. He knows he's not right, and that's the whole thing. It's not the best ending out there. I'm not going to argue that, but at the exact same time, yeah, it's shitty. I'm not going to lie.
It is a shitty ending, and it's an ending that hits on a note that, like, when you watch it, you're like, oh my gosh, I see this. But I love how in the this is how I know it's kind of like the good ending versus, and this is how I said it's the good ending versus the bad ending, is when Verso's ending, it's very colorful.
Right.
But when it's Mael's ending, it starts, I think, in red, and then it just goes to gray. And I think at that point, when Verso goes and kind of looks at her, like, you're making me do this, and he goes and just starts playing, and she sits there with this kind of, she doesn't have a smile on her. There's not really a smile on her face. It's more of, I have the power to do anything now. Mm-hmm. And that was where I feel like I was like, this is the Verso's ending. It to me is the canon ending. Mael's is the alternate ending.
And I think at that point she was at peace. That's what that smile there is. It's what she accepted death. Because I don't know if you saw it. There's like a jump scare, like 2 seconds after all that, where it has like a blah, and it has her face with all the painting and stuff. Whenever we saw the mother, all that, you do see that. Like, I see that. I found that, like, it's shitty, but I knew that was going to come. She's at peace. That's why she's not smiling. It's like, I'm going to die, but you know what? Fuck it. That's how I want to die. Like I said, both endings, I say neither ending is right or wrong. Both are crappy in one way, shape, or form. It depends on how you want to. It's almost like a trolley problem in a situation where, do you want to keep everybody alive and you suffer, or do you want to stay alive and everybody else suffer?
Exactly. And so, and as such, it's like save the family or save yourself.
Right.
And so I think with this, I also too, I gave it I got to work on my tier list, my ranking list, because I never really did that for fucking video games. But I gave this I think I gave it like a platinum tier. So I'm putting it up like, yeah, so I'm doing this like big, I want to do this big tier list thing where I'm doing like platinum tier, gold tier, silver tier, bronze tier, because it's gonna sound weird, but I don't believe games are just naturally trash. Like, it really had to be a game that's so bad that I can't physically play it. It's just broken in every sense. And I don't think I've ever actually played a game that was so on that level that this game is literally like I can't play it because it's just I've found games that are boring. I've found games that are, not to my liking. I've never found a game that is just like this is just so bad I can't do this.
Let me give you a handful. One, Gollum for the PS5.
You did actually end up playing that, huh?
I did.
Oof.
The Rise of Kong was pretty crappy. Sonic 06. I don't know if you've played that one, but Sonic 06 is probably one of the worst games I've ever played. It's just, and those are like, so just name a few that are just broken, buggy, crappy.
What's funny to me is I've played Sonic 06, and I would agree with you in terms of gameplay. In terms of story, it's actually exactly not that bad.
No, it's not.
And that's why I can't put it into trash. Like, if I had to score it out of 10, right, I'd probably give it like a 5 at the most. Because the story,
you are very generous.
I am generous because of the fact that the game gave me at least what I wanted in terms of like, it's cool. There's some cool little moments and stuff like that. But yes, the gameplay is bad. And the only thing that holds it up is the story and the music. Like, Sonic music is just great.
It is.
And
I also
so
have
I think
PTSD from Sonic 06. I played Sonic Frontiers about a year ago, and you can pull the music on there. I had PTSD because I hate Sonic 06. So it just was like, no, Sonic, no, post-traumatic Sonic disorder, no.
Post-traumatic Sonic disorder. The Sonic one will have to be something we're going to have to talk about because, damn, that's a...
that's very much not a positive train right now because out of all the Sonic games I've been playing, I have not been impressed with a single one.
Not even Sonic Gen?
I haven't played that one.
Oh, okay. We'll play that one.
I played... What have I played? I played 06. I played Secret of the Rings. I played Black Knight. I did enjoy that one. And that's been a minute, so I don't know. And Frontiers.
Wow, that is... Okay. So I've played...
It's not extensive.
Sonic. I played Sonic 1. I played some of Sonic and Knuckles, so I can't really say I haven't played the whole game. Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic 06, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Generations, Sonic Frontiers I'm still working on, Sonic Gen, and then Shadows as well. Because I was kind of out of the and Sonic Mania.
Okay, well,
Sonic Mania was good. If you like the classic version.
I have played the originals. I was talking more so of the 3D-ish newer Sonic.
Oh yeah, if you go just the 3Ds, then it's everyone but the Sonic one.
Yeah, I do want. I played the original ones. I did like them. Is this one Sonic hit 3D? I have somewhere. I have Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast. I think it's sitting right under my Keyblade. I have it. I still need to play it.
I've always wanted to play like the Sonic Advance series and like the Sonic Rush series. Like I've always wanted to play that. I've heard.
I have a buddy who's big into Sonic, and he's told me they're actually pretty decent games compared to the other ones that are out. These aren't the worst Sonic games out there. And I was like,
but I'm the thing is for me is I'm playing them on Game Boy Advance. Like I'm playing them on Game Boy Advance. I can't go play them on something else. I'll walk around. I don't care where I'm walking. I'll walk around town with my Game Boy Advance playing Sonic, and everyone will look at me and be like, "What's that?
What's that device? Is that a video game?"
I watched there's only like one of those really like they have like people reacting to stuff, and it was like kids react to like old consoles or whatever.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And one of them was a Game Boy, and they're like, "Why is the touchscreen not working?" And I'm like, I hate you.
I'm not old. Damn it.
I'm not, dude. If you want to feel old, real quick before we scatter this one, I was talking about Pokemon Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Right.
2004.
I hate to tell you. You tell me that doesn't make me feel old.
Oh my god, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like that one, I was sat there and I was like, I remember when that came out and I was like, gonna be a Pokemon master again. Like
I feel old mostly because my mother had a daycare and her oldest group of kids is about to graduate college.
Oh.
I feel old because of that right there. Same thing. 4 4 or 5 year difference, but the exact same time. It's like, oh my god, I remember when they were children, and the youngest ones are now going into 8th grade that I worked with in my last senior year. That's old. You don't
That
know
is
old
old.
until those kids that can't tie their shoes are sitting there with like, oh yeah, we're driving it like next year. It's like, ugh,
Oh,
shit.
guess I'm gonna have to get off the road. Look.
While we're on the topic Expedition 33, I gotta bring this up because it's the funniest thing ever, and the dude got clowned really bad on my TikTok. So I'm saying this right now. I don't condone bullying in any way, shape, or form. I really don't. I put out a TikTok asking, what does everybody think of Expedition 33? I was such a maybe I made it into Act 2 at that point, if not Act 3. And so I said, "Hey, what does everybody think?" And this dude chimed in and was saying, like, "Oh yeah, it's okay. I give it like a solid 7 out of 10 on a good day." How the fuck did he phrase it? The animation in there is really odd. I'm not going to argue that. It does remind me of Plague Tale. The faces do. So
At times they kind of like lean awkwardly. Yeah,
I gave him that, but then it's like the visuals and combat seem too anime flashy. The music is just too all over the place. The story makes no sense. And he said at the end, this game is trying to be too original, and it is being too original. And that's why he did not like it. It's because it is legitimately too original. I kid you not. And I left this for 3 whole days. 3 whole days. I was getting buzzes on my TikTok of people being like, what the fuck you mean too original? What, you gonna go play Call of Duty again? Assassin's Creed? FIFA? Oh my God. And I was just laughing. I let it be. And finally, it's been about almost a week. Let's say on Friday or Thursday, buzzes finally stopped and I looked. He deleted his comments entirely. And I was like, maybe I got blocked. And so I checked out my other ones. I didn't delete it. I don't delete comments unless you're just being an absolute, like, horrible, horrible person in any way, shape, or form. He deleted his comments because he said this game was too original. And anytime I have to bring it up because he was a clown. And his name was Sponge Boyo on TikTok with the imagination of nobody cares as his picture. And it was the funniest thing ever. That's like maybe 200 people bitched at him because it was too original.
200 people bitched at this motherfucker.
I was laughing for days, and I was like, "Oh dear heavens, this is the funniest thing ever."
I cannot stand. Like I don't like the whole troll thing, anyways. But like, that's crazy. Like, oh man,
he compared it to Nier Automata and Dark Souls and said something about it. I was like, I mean, it is original. Don't get me wrong. Original is good. But like something about this original, I don't like. It's just too original. Like I get Dark Souls and Nier vibes, but then it's just more different than that. So I just don't get it. Like
I don't understand how you tell me something's too original and I'm going to look at you and be like yeah. What the
I wish I was making this up, and I wish I had.
Where do you I gotta know exactly like.
No, we're here. Rage. Like I do it out of fucking humor, but like I let this go on for days of people legitimately bitching. I had comments I couldn't approve. That I had like go review these comments. I was like, approve all of them. Fuck this dude.
Fuck this dude. Yeah, no, exactly. That's how I get the comments. Like the comments that I usually get, the only time I get like that is usually whenever I bring up like honestly it's something like with like woke shit. But like but when it comes to the fact that like, dude, they just bully you tried to troll and they Uno reversed you.
No, it was hilarious. Like, and days, legitimately days. One of my friends said I should have stitched it so his comment would never have been gone. And I realized it's like shit, I should have. I straight up should have. And so I fucked up because I didn't. I've never hated myself so much.
Nah, bro. I feel like that's. Like, yeah, I don't even know how to even like respond to like. It's just too original,
dude. I've been seeing a lot of stupid.
Could you imagine if this is some motherfucker who walked in and been like, "I see that you do a pepperoni and sausage pizza, but you use chicken sausage instead of regular sausage." That to me is just a downer.
I won't do it. That's too original for me. You have
this is too original for me. Like, could you like make it more commercialized. Maybe incorporate some microtransactions and like maybe a live service.
I hate. I'm seeing a lot of. I know we're reaching the end, but I see a lot of stupid comments that are like making me proving to me that gamers out there are sheep in the gaming world because somebody gives them an opinion and that's what they go with. Final Fantasy 13 is one that's a 50-50 love game. I don't know if you ever played the Final Fantasies or not. I can't remember if you have.
I played some of 13 and I played 16.
I like 13. I had somebody, not on mine, but her name was Diaz on Diaz, something like that on TikTok, said she loved the game. And somebody came in and said, oh, yeah, this dude on TikTok made a video about why it's the worst game ever. Yeah, that's exactly what, and that's the exact case. And now he's like, no, it's called an opinion. No, he gave us facts. Okay, he doesn't have. He gave facts of his own opinion. No, actual facts. He backed it up. And it's like, no, dude says I don't like this game. That's a fact,
motherfucker.
I hate. That's why I hate.
That's the thing that gets me too is that kind of shit right there. And then they wonder why, like, what I don't know why people don't like the games that I like because people like you.
Yeah,
like it's literally the gamer syndrome is its own self-inflicted wound.
And
like when Doom comes out, right? I can't wait. And I remember like watching people talk about Doom, and I loved Doom: The Dark Ages. Gonna be so much fun.
I got really
like Doom Eternal.
I'm ready.
I had a lot of fun with Doom Eternal. And I did get some people, but even beforehand, before I really started doing this, being like, it doesn't play like the original Doom. No, that's the point. It's supposed to elevate in some way.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to reinvent. Well, like I just don't understand it. Okay, so that's a you problem.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really a me problem. Like if they would just fix the stuff to tailor it to you because you're not good enough to figure it out on your own. Skill issue.
And stuff like that is why IPs don't get anything. Like I think it was a while back you talked about the South of Midnight. I like the idea of the game. I'm a Louisiana descent. I have the Creole in me, so this is really cool to see something based on that. But nobody wanted to go with it because he had what's his name, Asmongold said don't buy it, so nobody bought it.
I don't take advice from people who needed a full ass documentary about why his house can't be cleaned.
Right.
Like I'm not taking no advice from this dude. Like I don't know why people take advice from the worst people out there and are like, but Asmongold said
because they're popular. Like, that's legitimately the reason. Somebody popular said no. And like I do my own opinions, people. I piss people off because of it. I got Dustborn. I loved it to a degree, and then I hated it. The music's okay, art style's neat, gameplay sucks, and the story's mediocre. But here's the thing: I came up with my opinion on my own. Not what everybody else said. That's what I thought
with Forspoken. I finished off of Forspoken. I was gonna do a video today about it, but I just didn't have time. But I finished Forspoken. It was a fine game. It's fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story. Yeah, the story's kind of predictable. And I said before, I was like, some of the voice acting work is a little shaky. I'm not the greatest fan of, and like I was gonna be honest, I was like. Frey as a character, especially in the beginning, I don't really care for her all that much, but she does grow on you, and I'm like the character does grow on you. The character does get better as it goes along, and you know what? There's a lot of positives to this game. I say it's a good groundwork for a different kind of game,
Mm-hmm.
But all you guys saw it, you guys were just hated on it, and I'm like, if someone's like, well, I don't like it because it's woke garbage, that's not a criticism.
No.
That's not criticism. Tell me exactly why you don't like it. If you say because the dialogue is cringy, that's also not criticism. Like I said, I think some of the dialogue, some of the voice work is kind of inconsistent because sometimes some of the voice work kind of falls flat in certain areas when they're supposed to be a little more emotional. And that actually comes with the lead. The lead actually is where it happens the most. But other than that, I think the game is really, it's good. It's fun. I had a lot of time. I enjoyed the shit out of it. And I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted. So.
And that's all a game is meant to be. And people don't get that. I hate the new games don't get the love because somebody says don't do it. New IPs are going to need to happen. We're running out of IPs. So that if everybody says no to every new one.
Exactly. And
Halo can only be released for, so many times. Same for The Last of Us.
I don't know why it takes so long to bring back the GTA games. And I'm like, go try something else. Why would I go play one of those? Okay, then sit and then don't bitch. Like it just, oh my god, like that's why. And then people wonder when I say gamers don't know what the fuck they want.
No, they don't.
And then I got backlash for it. I got pushback for it. When I'm like,
They straight up want what somebody tells them to want. They do not have their own opinion anymore, and that really sucks.
you know what's really funny? So my dog went over to my parents' house one time, and another dog was playing with like this toy. And my dog wanted the toy. Got the toy, right? Finally got the toy. My mom's like, "Yeah, it's fine, take it back." As soon as we got back, never touched it again. That is what it's like for gamers. That's what it's like for gamers. Like it's like, well, I want something. All right, cool. Here it is. We'll give you it. Well, I don't want it anymore. I don't like it. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. And it's like, to make it yourself. See, you guys are just lazy. And that's why I was like, this is why I said gamers have a sense of entitlement that they really need to check. And once, I got pushback on that. Well, it's not all gamers. Okay, bitch, then it might be you because you're the one popping off about it.
Mm-hmm. I love singling people out when it comes down to it. And being like, if this bothers you, then you are the problem. I can't remember what it was. I think I talked about Dustborn and how it's okay to go buy your own games and have your own opinions on it. And I said if what I'm about to say bothers you, you are the problem. And I think I actually got a little bit of hate whenever I said it's okay to buy games. I buy games I'm never gonna play. I got the deluxe edition of Dustborn. I have a poster right there of it. I got Squirrel with a gun. I buy stupid ass shit because it's my own fucking money, and they bitch at me.
Oh yeah,
and I don't care.
Like I played Avowed, right? I liked Avowed. I thought Avowed was kind of just a fun time.
I wanted to play it. It looks fucking neat.
I had people be like, "Well, you're just like mediocre games."
No,
and I'm like, the game's not mediocre. One, that's subjective. Like same with Dragon Age Veilguard. Dragon Age Veilguard's the same way. I've been playing. I'm like, yeah, I like Dragon Age Veilguard. Well, it's not as good as Inquisition. What fucking no? Never played it. So I'm basing it off of what I'm playing for this. Well, did you get to the point with the one character? Yeah, I did. And if you actually read the context into why she's kind of a douche, it makes fucking sense because her mom's a douche.
Yeah.
Like Tasha's mom is a douche. So Tosh is also kind of a douche back. That's how that works. Like, it's not hard. It's just, like you mentioned before, have your own opinion. Stop listening to Asmongold and stop listening to people that, one, you probably don't even have the same likings of games.
No.
You really don't. If you're not going to go play the game on its own end and try to judge it on its own, then stop. Like I've done that with Maddens where I was like, I'll go check out a Madden game, right? Like I'll go try this one. I know 25 came out. Let's try to judge Madden. And I play it and I'm like, I don't like it.
Right.
That's fine because I already did it. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to go judge Dustborn when I haven't even fucking played it.
Yeah, and that's my whole thing is I'm not going to go judge a game until I play it. Like I've played the stupidest games you've never heard of, and I can tell you it's great. It's not, and that's what it's supposed to be. Not because freaking Tommy Two Shoes, Mr. Go Lucky over there says, "Hey, I played 10 minutes of this." I was like, "Meh, it's boring. So nobody else wants to play it." That could be a whole different discussion right there. And you know what? If you get flack for it, I'll be here with you. We'll hold hands, skip through the haters. I'm all for it. I love this shit.
Yeah, same here. But with all that being said, man, I appreciate you being on here.
I had fun.
I really do. And that's like I said, the hater talk is one talk for another time. You might see if you have time tomorrow. I'm actually on another podcast with a friend of mine tomorrow. But we got. I mean, I'm just saying, we actually go into hater talk.
I'm down. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck the haters. I'm down.
Tomorrow at 1, I can send you I'll send you the link for it. But we go into stupid hater talk. So like,
oh boy, should I bring up It's Too Original? Will that be fun?
Bring in. We talk video game talk, hate talk. We talk anime hate talk. We go all over with it. So it's a fun one. It's a fun one for sure. But everyone else, I'll let you know. I mean, if you want to let them know where they can find you.
If you want to, you can find me on. You can find me. Easiest way to find me is find me on TikTok at All Around Gaming. If you try and find me on YouTube, there's like 8 different All Around Gamings. If you find me, look for the crossed Buster Sword. It has the red crystal crown, red, blue, and green. That's All Around Gaming. I do all sorts of gaming shit. I'm playing stupid stuff you've never heard of, games you've probably heard of. I just beat Halo Reach. I'm playing The Thing right now. Technically next week, that isn't even out yet. I'm playing Expedition 33 on the first playthrough there. If you want to go see it there. Ooh. I also post my own TikToks there too. So yeah, I have horrible video game opinions. Go check out All Around Gaming TikTok, same thing. And then Vic said, look for the Buster Swords. You find that, you found the right person.
Awesome. And as you guys know where to find me: TikTok, YouTube. I'm starting to repost on YouTube again. So that's been kind of fun. I might try doing the old trailers. I used to do like trailer reactions. Those were actually pretty fun. But TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram as well. But I rarely post on there. Alrighty, everyone. As always, I'm Taylor from Afro OG, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Peace. Yeah, but you know what? Oh, we're still going.